Shalom, family. Brothers and sisters out there. Thanks again for joining me on the channel. Family, today I'm going to think about being a person who is playing with spiritual house money. Now, I know in the world what we call playing with house money. That means you playing with money that you didn't come out of pocket with. In other words, you playing for free. Therefore, it costs you nothing. Okay? And there are a lot of us in this world, among us and the brothers and sisters who are taught in Christian churches, are actually playing with spiritual house money. Meaning that they're taking advantage of the free gift of salvation without investing nothing of their own. In other words, they believe all they need to do is just say, I believe in the Most High, or I believe in God. First of all, which God are you talking about? Satan is called the God of this world. So when people say that to me, I want them to be a little bit more specific, because the Father has a name. And so when you use the term God, I don't know who you talking about. Now, I know when we're reading the scriptures, we'll just read them sometimes as it is, written. But we know that the Most High has a name, and he prefers you to call him by it, or he wouldn't have gave you his name. But that's beside the point. When you're playing with spiritual house money, that means you think, as some of the pastors teach, that once you believe, that's all you got to do. Nothing else is required. You can go on living your life like you are accustomed to doing. You don't have to keep any of the commandments, because they were done away with. And so you're just actually playing with spiritual house money. You have nothing invested, and you don't invest into it. It's just a free gift, and you think there's nothing else required. But James chapter 2, verse 26 says, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. When the Most High created man in Genesis chapter 7, Adam was just dirt. He made him from the dust of the earth. He didn't become a human being or a soul until the Most High breathed the breath of life, his spirit, into that man. Then he became alive. Other than that, he was just a lump of dirt. Okay? And so when you just go around and say that you believe in God, or you ain't believe in Jesus, or whatever you want to call him, that's not saying too much. Because according to James chapter 2, verse 19, it says, thou believest that there is one God? He said, well, you do well. He said, the devils also believe and tremble. So you not believing anything that the devils themselves believe. They know, they believe in the Most High too. That's why they tremble. So, if the spirit is dead, if your body is dead without the spirit, so it say faith without works is dead also. So you pretty much are just spiritually dead. And when you're spiritually dead, that means you're separated from the Most High. So it's not just enough to say you believe in the Most High. Some works go with it, So what are the works? Well, you can go to Galatians chapter 22. Galatians 5, verse 22 and 23, and tell you what it is. It say, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. So you can believe all you want to, but if you don't have the fruit of the Spirit, which is the Most High Spirit in you, you're dead. You trying to live off of spiritual house money, meaning you're not investing nothing. First John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love the Most High, and he hates his brother, he's a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love the Most High whom he has not seen? And when I say a man hates his brother, everybody is not your brother or sister, okay? And Mashiach made that clear. When we say brother or sister, it's talking about believers. Just as in the world, how men approach each other and don't even know each other. Hey, bro, that's just acknowledging somebody of your own ethnicity. Okay, you're not really brothers. We think that brothers have at least one or both parents in common. So everybody's not your brother. That's just a acknowledgement of somebody being of your own race. Okay, but let's see what Mashiach say who your brother or sister is. Matthew chapter 12, verse 47 through 50. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand outside, desiring to speak with you. But he answered and said unto him that told him that, who is my mother? And who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward the disciples and said, Behold, my brother and my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. See? So everybody's not your brother. You know, if they're living a worldly life, wickedness, and willful sin, they're not your brother. They may be of the same ethnicity, look like you, but they're not your brother or sister. Okay? Let's go to Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. And thou shalt love the Most High, thy Elohim, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and all thy might. See, it something goes. You have to invest something. See, although salvation is free, you have to invest something too. And that's complete submission unto the Father. See, it's not no just, okay, I believe, now since I believe, I can just keep on living like I've been living. I don't have to invest nothing. Now, you know, this is free. It's house money. You know, I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to invest nothing. You know, I can keep doing just what I've been doing, and I'm going to be good. John chapter 14, verse 21. He that has my commandments and keeps them, it is he that loves me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father. And I will love him and will manifest myself to him. See, you got to invest something too. You know, you just can't be going around trying to operate on spiritual house money, family, so to speak. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9. Know thou that the Most High, thy Elohim, he is thy Elohim, the faithful Elohim, which keeps covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Mashiach says it again in John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. See, it's something we got to invest. Okay? Mark chapter 12, verse 29 and 30. And Mashiach answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Most High, I Elohim, is one Elohim. All right? And thou shalt love thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. See, you don't listen to these people saying, oh, well, all you have to do is believe. You know, that's just not going to cut it. You know, you gotta invest something. Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men to do so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. See, and this is what happens, when you teach people that the law is done away with. Well, you're teaching people to break the commandments by telling them they don't have to keep them. You know, salvation is free. You don't have to be try to be righteous or change. You can keep being that same old man or same woman, and just because you say you believe, and the scriptures tell you, well, the devils believe too. So you're not doing no more than what they do. Let's go to Matthew chapter 15, verse 8. It says, "This people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." See? That's all it is. Their lip service. Oh yeah, I believe. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. But that's just lip service. They don't invest nothing spiritually. They don't present themselves, with the things of the Most High as a living sacrifice. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 13. "Wherefore the Most High said, For as much as this people draw near to me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men." See, you listening to what the precepts of men. Oh, we ain't got to keep the commandments. They were done away with. They were nailed to the cross. No, they wasn't. The sacrificial laws were. Mashaka told you till heaven and earth pass away, not one jot or tittle will be taken away from the law. Okay. You have to invest in your salvation. That's why the scriptures tell us we need to work out our salvation constantly. James chapter 1, verse 26. "If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridles not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is in vain." See, 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. "He that said, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him." Go down to verse 9, it says, he that said he's in the light and hates his brother is in darkness even until now. And we've established who our brothers is. Okay? You can't stand another believer. Now, I'm not talking about those believers who are involved in wickedness, teaching false doctrine and fairy tales and distorting the truth of the gospel. We're not talking about them. We know they're not your brother, even though they claim to be a believer. Okay. Let's see. Titus chapter 1 verse 16. They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. See, you can profess all you want to, but it's the fruit that you bear, the fruit of the Spirit. All you have to do is watch a person's actions and his character, and you'll know if he really believes or it's just lip service. Those are the people you have to watch out for. Second Timothy chapter 4 verse 2 through 4 says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. For the time will come where they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. See, it takes more than just saying I believe, family. Luke chapter 6 verse 46 says, why do you call me master, master, and do not the things which I say? See, they just honoring him with their lip, with their mouth. They just perpetrating. Romans chapter 16 verse 18 says, for they that are such serve not Mashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. See, we can't we can't afford to be spiritually bankrupt, going around trying to play with spiritual house money. You have nothing invested, so you think it's a free ride, but in the end, it's going to cost you. And so that's why I did this short video today, just reminding people that it's more to just believing, saying you believe. Once again, even the devils believe and tremble. So you're really not believing no more in that they believe. you got to have the Spirit of the Most High also. You have to endure to the end. It's going to cost you something. This is not a free ride, okay? So we just need to remind our brothers and sisters who are still deceived or listening to other pastors that tell them that they don't have to keep the commandments, and warn them we're in the end times, and that they don't have to change what they believe. They don't have to get away from those people who tell them or teach them against obeying the commandments. All right? Because the people, you're not going to be able to go in front of the judgment and blame nothing on no pastor. Because you have the same Bible that pastor is supposed to be reading from, and you should read it for yourself. You're not going to be aware, Pastor so-and-so said I didn't have to keep it. That's not going to fly with the Most High. Because he told you to study and show yourself approved, rightly dividing the word. So don't think you're going to get up there and try to throw a pastor under the bus, because you going under the bus with him, because you didn't have to remain in that church where the truth is not taught. That's on you. Okay? That's you. That's on you. And any other place that you go on the internet and listen to people who are not teaching the truth, but the doctrines of men, and making up their own doctrine, that's on you. Because you can just as easily hit that unsubscribe button as anything else. And I guarantee you, if I ever start teaching anything that's not written, I want you to get unsubscribed from me, because that means I lost my mind. You know? Of course, I'm not going to ever do that. But if I did, you better get away from me and any other teacher who starts teaching false doctrine. You know? So let's not try to play with spiritual house money, family. You're going to have to be invested yourself. All right? So it's just a reminder. When you are talking to your brothers and sisters that are still in the dark, still under the tutelage of these churches, they need to get out of them. Okay? All right, family. I'll talk to you again in a few days, most high willing. And until then, shalom.